There's a pretty good chance that you are a lot stronger than you think you are. Hey, you, how's it going? How are you? It's AD Roundtree. Welcome to this, your Monday edition of the show. Yeah, your Monday, your new day of your new week. First Monday of 2022, your clean slate, your fresh start. A chance for you and I to move forward together into whatever the hell it is that happens next. A chance for you to kick an entirely new week, an entirely new year, directly where it counts. You're doing awesome. Hang in there. You got this. And if you need something, if you need to talk, if there's anything I can do for you to make your Monday better, hit me up. I'm here with you. I'm here for you. At ADSXE. It's where you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at ADSXE. Put it in your phone now in case you need it later. I got an email from Morgan. I started an email account for this podcast. I'm here with you. I'm here for you at gmail.com. But I got an email from Morgan who said, where do you get the strength? Like a lot of people, I started this new year determined to make changes in my life. New job, new attitude toward health, and how I am in relationships. But now it's here, I'm petrified, and I haven't even done anything yet. You went through so much getting your dad back from Kosovo, and you seem to do it so easily. Where do you get the strength? Aha! All right, well, here's the thing. First and foremost, thank you so much for your email. I started doing this podcast from my father's hospital room while he slept. Because after 17 years on your radio, I found myself without a job, unemployed, halfway around the world, looking after my dad in a Kosovo hospital. It was one of the most difficult times of my life. And I realized something. I realized that over the last 17 years of being on your radio, the conversations that you and I have been having, it's pretty much what's gotten me through. So I had to keep them going. I started the podcast and, well, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you keeping up with those conversations. And I kind of decided that this podcast would be about you. Conversations about you. Look, I am not qualified in any way, shape, or form to dispense advice. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a shrink. But I knew that I do know that talking about it, whatever it is, helps. So here's the thing. You, me, all of us, we're going to talk about what it is that we're going through, what's on our mind. We're going to share our stories and, well, we're going to allow the audience to chime in. And through these conversations, we're going to get each other through. If you have a problem, if you have a challenge, if you're facing an obstacle, if you need some help or advice, or if you just need to talk, let me know what's going on. At ADSXE on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, or I'm here with you, I'm here for you at gmail.com. But thank you so much to Morgan for asking, where do you get the strength? And you know, it's interesting because there's no two ways about it. Everything that I went through in Kosovo and then eventually Macedonia, that took some doing. That took some strength. That took some stuff that I did not necessarily know I had. Gas that I wasn't aware I had in the tank. And you know what? It was a changing situation. If someone had said to me, hey, AD, your father's clinging to life in a Kosovo hospital room after a medical emergency. You're going to have to go there. You're going to have to get him from one hospital to another hospital. You're going to have to get him stabilized. You're going to have to deal with the fact that while the medical treatment there is good, they're hugely understaffed. So you're going to have to spend pretty much 24 hours a day in that hospital room. His survival depends on food, eating it. And right now there's not enough nursing staff to feed him. So you're going to be the person that feeds him. And also he's, well, mentally not with it right now. So you're going to have to be the person that's dealing with all sorts of situations right now on his behalf. You're going to have to do all these things. And then guess what? His pacemaker battery is going to run out. They won't be able to get one to Kosovo for 15 to 20 days. He might not survive that. So you're going to have to figure out where to get one from. It's going to involve going to another country. You're going to have to do a bunch of research, get your dad to another country, then get him the procedure so he can continue to survive. Then you're going to have to figure out how to get him recovered recovered from that procedure, all the while still being the person that feeds him and looks after him and speaks for him. And you're going to have to then figure out how to get him on a plane. There's going to be medical transport companies that cancel on you. There's going to be all sorts of situations that seem insurmountable. But after a month and a half, you are going to get him on a plane and get him to America, where you are going to get him into a hospital rather, that you have researched and discovered is a couple miles away from where your sister lives. You're going to do all of this essentially by yourself. You ready? Go. That's what the journey was. And if someone had said that to me, I would have been like, there's no way. There's absolutely no chance I'm going to be able to do any of this, let alone all of this. No, I can't. I'm not strong enough, is probably what I would have told someone in that situation. But that's the thing about strength. You don't necessarily recognize it as being strong at the time. It was a lot of heavy lifting to get through that situation. Still is. My dad's on a new journey now. He's on the next leg of his journey, and we're trying to figure that out. It's not easy. It's not fun. It is easier than it was in a foreign country, though. It is easier doing all this stuff, not having to go through Google Translate to go from Albanian to English to Macedonian and back again when you're trying to figure out what exactly your father needs in terms of life-saving treatment. That part is easier, but it's not easy. But if you told me all of this stuff, if you said, are you up for it? Can you handle it? I would have said, no, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what the hell is going on. I don't know how to deal with all these problems that all of a sudden have sprung up from nowhere. Life changed in an instant with my dad's situation. And the way I got through it all was just by going out there and putting one foot in front of the other, something you probably heard me say a lot on this podcast, and trying to do the next right thing. And, all the while, I had family, friends, and maybe some listeners who were hitting me up going, man, you're a hero. I didn't feel like a hero at the time. Felt like I was barely clinging on, like I was about to lose it. In fact, a couple times, there was no two ways about it. I did lose it. It was brutal. It was painful. And I felt woefully inequipped to be dealing with all this stuff. But I got it done. If you ask me how I got it done, I would just tell you, I just tried to do the next right thing. Like I said, kept putting one foot in front of the other. And when I look back on it now, when I look back on the last 6 weeks, I go, yeah, I was pretty tough through all of that. I was strong. I did have strength that I didn't know I had. I can say that now in retrospect. I can say that now with some hindsight. But at the time, I certainly didn't feel strong. I certainly didn't feel like I had it together. I certainly didn't feel like I was on the right track. I felt like there was no way I was going to handle it. But I did. And you know what? I wouldn't sign up for it. Wouldn't want to do anything like that ever again in my life. There's parts of me that I don't know if I don't know if parts of me are ever coming back from that trip. I got to be honest with you. It was difficult in ways that I haven't really talked about on the podcast yet. But I do know that I emerged from it stronger, more resilient, with more faith in what I could accomplish. I do know I look back on it and go, yeah, that was some strength. So if you feel like you lack strength, if you feel like you're floundering, if you feel like you're panicking, Morgan, as you are trying to figure out what's next, how you're going to make these changes in life that a lot of people promise themselves are going to make, especially around the first of the year, if you're petrified, well, some of the best things happen to you when you are working outside of your comfort zone. And I don't know what it is you're trying to do in terms of your career. I don't know what it is you're trying to do in terms of your health and how you are in relationships. But I will tell you that it all starts with a single step. It all starts with making a move. And while you're doing this, while you're taking whatever action you want to take, and maybe you need a new job, maybe you've got to bring yourself to get out there and start looking for a new job. That can be tough. I don't know. I'm just guessing. You didn't tell me, but there's all sorts of fear of rejection. There's all sorts of fear of leaving your comfort zone. If you have something that you've been doing for a while and it just doesn't work for you anymore, but it gives you a sense of security, that sense of security can keep you where you are for a long time. And sometimes even putting yourself out there, looking for something new, something different, is a daunting and scary thing. You feel like you can't do it, but you can. You're going to doubt yourself along the way, but you will be doing it. Whatever it is, whatever you feel like you lack the strength to do, well, I'm almost guaranteeing you that you have it. You have more of it than you can ever imagine. But in that moment, while you're doing it, while you are taking the first rickety Bambi-esque steps into the next part of your life, it's not going to feel like you're strong. There's so many people that will tell you like, oh, you gotta be the hero in your own story. You don't feel like the hero at the time. At least I didn't. I can look back on it and go, it was a little bit heroic. But at the time, I didn't feel like a hero. I felt like a lost cause, like someone who had a bunch of plates in the air and was inevitably going to drop all of them. And that doesn't have to be you. You want to make changes? You want to move forward? You want to do things differently in 2022? You want to approach your job, your health, your relationships, all these things that are big parts of your life that you're not happy with in a different way? You just kind of do it. One step at a time. Keep doing the next right thing. And trust me when I say this, at the time, it probably won't feel like you're being brave. It probably won't feel like, oh, you're that hero in your own story and you're, captain of your own ship and all of that. No. All those motivational quotes that you see floating around the interwebs are of little to no use during times like the ones that you're describing. But I will tell you this. You are stronger now than you give yourself credit for. It won't feel like you are when you're out there making those moves, when you're making those changes, when you're getting after the things you want. It's going to feel daunting, scary, and it's going to feel unfamiliar because it is. But trust me on this. You can handle it. I know you can. I believe in you. And I believe in you as someone who did not believe in himself in terms of doing the things that I've just done, but what the hell, I did them. My dad is in a different country after 4 hospitals and a month and a half. My relatives described it as Herculean. I certainly didn't feel like Hercules at the time. But looking back on it now, I kind of sort of do. And I think you give it enough time, you make enough moves, you take enough steps forward, you'll feel the same way too. That is it for me. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you for being a part of my radio family. As always, this time that you and I spent together, it's the best part of my day every single day. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll do it all over again. In the meantime, have a great one. Later. Oh, and Morgan, don't forget to check in and let us know how things go.